And today's front pages are all about the race to save 5 people in a mini sub miles below the surface of the North Atlantic off the coast of Newfoundland, diving for the thrill of a lifetime to see the Titanic lying on the seabed. The Daily Mail shows photographs of the 5 people, and it says, as underwater drone joins planes and ships in a massive search, US Coast Guard warns breathable air is running out fast. The headline, 24 hours to save them. The hunt for the Titan submarine, which went missing with 5 people while on a dive to the wreck of the Titanic on Sunday, continues to dominate the papers. The Daily Mail leads with comments by the US Coast Guard, which has said that the breathable air on the vessel could be used up by 10 a.m. on Thursday, UK time at the latest. And so that's until tomorrow at the latest. That's the most optimistic forecast for trying to save these people who are on board this submarine. Well, several of them, millionaires or billionaires, who had paid a couple of $100,000 for a seat on the sub. But of course, as usual with these things, is nobody pays much attention until it's a crisis. And so it's various cautions that supposedly were given prior to this dive only now coming to light. Nobody bothered to highlight them before the sub dived. And so the Mirror is praying for a miracle, a harbour vigil for missing Brits, as relatives recall and pray for the rescue teams searching for the vessel. Relatives of the British nationals on board the submarine, says the paper, have gathered at the Canadian town of St. John's, from which the mission set off, and now face an agonizing wait for news. The paper adds that one of the men businessman Shaharada Dawood is a supporter of the Prince's Trust and that the King has sent prayers for the group's safe return. The Daily Express. Families anguish as rescuers race to find Titanic and before the oxygen runs out. Praying for a miracle, it says. Praying for a miracle. And it shows a picture of the sub, which is pretty close to this one. And the Mail says the men's families have asked the world to pray for their safety, but adds that rescuers are scouring an area of 7,500 square miles, 19,700 square kilometers above and below the ocean's surface, and that hope that they will be found safe and well are dwindling. The Metro. Titanic sub, the last photo. 40 hours of oxygen left, but the dive experts say the US delayed a help bid. So the blame game is starting now. The last photo taken of the submarine before it began its dive, in which a group of people can be seen on a platform surrounding the vessel in the middle of the ocean. That's the picture on the front of the Metro. Another image shows David Concannon, an American diver and advisor to the company which operates the submarines, who has said he was supposed to join the expedition but had to cancel to help another client. The Daily Star. Turn serious. Video game submarine, it says. The missing Titanic craft steered by a 42-pound Amazon controller. A shock revelation as oxygen runs out. The Star, not known for its serious approach to the news. Headlines, video game submarine. The paper says the vessel is steered by a games controller that can be bought on Amazon for £42. The Sun. Brits pal axed trip over safety. I was booked on doomed Titanic sub, says the person. These comments come from Chris Brown, a British businessman and friend of Hamish Harding, one of the men on board the submarine, who has said he paid for a trip on the vessel along with Mr. Harding, but later pulled out over safety concerns. Mr. Brown says he asked for his deposit back after a number of features of the craft, including the computer game-style controllers, left him worried that the firm running it was cutting too many corners. The Times. Previous safety worries over missing Titanic sub. A similar story about concerns previously raised over the safety of the craft leads the Times. The paper reports that David Pogue, a reporter with US broadcaster CBS, who dived to the Titanic on board Titan last year, has said passengers had to sign a waiver which said the vessel had not been approved or certified by any regulatory body, and that the expedition could result in death. It adds that Mike Rice, a writer on The Simpsons, who also made the trip last year, said he had lost communication on 3 journeys with OceanGate, the company that operates Titan. And so it comes thick and fast. All right. The eye changes pace. The Tories face UK mortgage time bomb as the bank urged to make a big rate hike. The eye says the Conservative Party faces a mortgage time bomb amid pressure on the Bank of England a Monetary Policy Committee to raise the base rate by 0.5% when it meets on Thursday. The paper says its analysts has shown that so-called blue wall seats currently held by the Tories in the south of England would take the biggest hit from any hike and would likely be targeted by Labour and the Liberal Democrats at the next election. The Guardian goes on the same theme. Mortgage time bomb bailout calls, and it splits the Tories. It does have a sub-headline, 5 crew on the missing sub have 40 hours of air left. Conservative MPs are increasingly split about whether the government should offer more support to help with the cost of mortgages. The paper says Chancellor Jeremy Hunt is under particular pressure from MPs in the northern seats, one from Labour at the last election, and quotes Jake Berry, chair of the Northern Research Group of MPs, warning that the money the government has spent subsidising energy bills will have been wasted if they lose their home. Financial Times. Hunt summons banks for mortgage talks, but rules out aid to homeowners. Financial Times says Mr. Hunt will meet with officials from the biggest banks on Friday to assess the mortgage market and review what additional help they can provide for people struggling with their monthly repayments. But he has ruled out giving direct fiscal support to households. The paper quotes Hunt saying that pumping more money into the economy would push prices even higher, and that he won't do anything that will prolong the inflationary agony that people are going through. The Daily Telegraph. Lockdown damaged a generation, says ex-CMO. The Daily Telegraph reports that Dame Sally Davis, the former chief medical officer for England, has told the COVID inquiry that the pandemic lockdown damaged a generation. The paper quotes Dame Sally saying she will support the first national lockdown, but that during that we should have thought, do we need to think further? She added that pupils in preschools haven't learned how to socialize and play properly, and that we must have plans for them. Well, there you are, pretty dramatic headlines. And let's just be reminded of the main headline. Well, it can be. go 5 people with time running out for the amount of air in a mini submarine, which went in search of, or give them a view of the Titanic lying on the North Atlantic seabed off the coast of Newfoundland. And nobody knows where they are. A massive search, but no real chance of rescuing them unless there is nothing short of a miracle and they are located. Most of them are Brits. Okay, pretty dramatic stuff. Plenty of domestic stuff as well to keep us unhappy. But let's take a look at the weather. Never mind the weather, as long as we're together. And today we are reaching 20 degrees, which is fairly chilly by comparison with what we have been having. But there's a gentle breeze, and it is only a gentle breeze. I came in as usual this morning at 6:30, 6:45, and I was not uncomfortable, tootling along on my new vehicle, the little buggy. And a wonderful little thing it is, too. Only goes about 6 miles an hour as the fastest. But it's my Parkinson's doesn't permit me to walk very far, and it gets me there. That's the main thing. It gets me there. And I was enjoying the outside temperature, which at the moment is 18 degrees. Oh, it's just dropped to 17 degrees for some reason. Must have been a blast of cold air. But anyway, we're going to rise to 20. It's going to be sunny, and it's going to be gentle breeze. And we are on the 21st day of the 6th month, June. June is busting out all over. In the year 2023. We are broadcasting from the White Hart Hotel in Lewes, in the south of England, the county town of East Sussex. And this hotel is historic. It's a 15th century coaching inn, and it's where Tom Paine developed his thoughts on the rights of man, and which eventually triggered the American Revolution and set America onto the road of independence. There you are, all on one morning. All on one morning. High 20 degrees, low 10 degrees, but we're well past that. As I say, we're 17, and we're doing quite well. Now, what's it going to be like for the rest of the week? On tomorrow, we're going to see a rise again to 24 degrees. Friday, 22 degrees. Saturday, 23. Sunday, 25. So a half decent weekend. And the old man is here.
Good morning, young man.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
You're trying to sartorialise me, but you haven't
Sorry?
succeeded. You're trying to out-sartorialise me, but you failed. Turn around and have a look.
Well, I saw you coming past the window.
Well, you see, I've got my man in Havana.
Right. Very sartorial.
Yes.
That is it, indeed. Now, let's just take a quick look to see whether there is anything locally that we should pay attention to. We have to go to that one to see if no, not much lately. So the latest, actually, there's a warning ahead of energy price change. We got the right man here. Householders must do one thing before the deadline or risk losing money. Read the full story here. And I think this is a Martin Lewis story, so you can probably one-up them. People want to take meter readings on the date for energy price change. Basically the story is, Stuart, that if you don't actually take that reading, the energy companies will charge you at an old meter rate, and you'll actually pay over the odds.
Oh yeah, well this is the old what's it, wasn't it? The pre-meter was basically for poor people, right? And what some of these gangsters started putting in prepayment meters because they could actually. Do you remember? You remember that?
Yes.
What happened? But I think what's happened here is that they've all been fixed and got various dodgy prices. I think that the meters have been fixed by the people who just wanted to get the money.
Right. That's not everybody then. It's only people with these prefixed meters.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't have to be too concerned. Now, just a review for people, if you would, that we're coming to the end of all these various subsidized rates. So what happens now?
Well, as far as I understand, some reason there has been a drop in the price of gas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether it's Putin's been put in jail, hopefully, or whether it's something else. But the gas prices, the FT said for 18 months, the European countries have actually said the gas price has gone right down. Okay.
Right.
So it's now gone to the state where the energy cap was 3,400. It's gone down now to less than 200, which is 2,000 rather.
Right.
Is what was going to be fuel poverty, and it's now latest, as far as I can make out, latest energy cap is put at about 1,471.
Wow.
Or maybe it might be the other way around, 1,741.
But even so,
it's very, very good because it was rocketing.
Yeah.
One of their informers, or one of their things that people told them, it couldn't go up to 4,000, and which means not just fuel poverty, it meant desperation. And so it's very good news. Indeed.
Yeah. So actually, all the pain that we suffered for almost 12 months, wasn't it?
No, it's about 2 years.
Well, it is. Yes, I suppose it is. That now we shouldn't expect to pay much more, about 150 quid a month.
Well, it sounds like it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And that starts as of now.
Yes, but I've been talking to EDFO, and they say, "Oh no, we're not putting ours down." But they're one of the big six cartel, aren't they? So
yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you think they'll step in? I mean, the government is under at the moment for not helping.
They're not apparently not about anything, are they?
No, they're not.
But you see, the problem they got there is that they step in with monies and so forth.
Yes.
So they've got a bit of a very funny tonight.
Yeah. Now, I was very early this morning, before my eyes were almost open. I was talking to one of our pals here, a man who's always been very supportive of Mirador, and he said that, of course, the Bank of England is independent of government. I mean, the Bank of England can act as it wishes.
That was what called Gordon Brown brought in. Yes.
Right. Okay. Now.
At the time.
Yes. Now, it depends, of course, on leadership. Yeah. And there is some doubt about this guy Bailey being as competent as he should be. What's your view on him?
Well, I think he's a jolly good chap myself, but I mean, I don't know these people. They come and they go. And well, he's been rather like the one that they faced in 2008, wasn't it? Where there was stagflation, which was a real terrible thing. All due, in my opinion, to that wretched George Osborne.
Right. Yes.
He was on the radio this morning, trying to excuse himself. He didn't make a very good job of it.
No. Well, I mean, he wasn't a very good editor of the Evening Standard, wasn't he? Once he got that as a sinecure.
I think you should go back to the family business, which is wallpaper, isn't it?
is that what I was born?
Can you see him slapping a piece?
Okay, so now let's just once more. I played it twice, but I'm going to play it again because today the whole world is focused on the North Atlantic and the 5 people, 3 of whom at least are Brits, that are somewhere thousands of feet under the surface of the North Atlantic. They set out to view the Titanic, but now it looks as if they're facing the same fate.
They've had some bangings just now.
Have they?
That's coming out. Yeah.
That's the latest, is it?
Yeah, some bangings.
Well, we did.
But the bad news is that they're going to run out of oxygen in about 3 days.
Yes, that's right. They say the estimate is tomorrow lunchtime is that's it. Anyway, that is the main story in the newspapers this morning, and so we'll leave you with that.